Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another great edition of the BroBryce Health Saturday Keto Chat. Let me get my mic clipped on here. I'm wearing my bacon costume because it is National Bacon Day. It is December 30th, and I don't know when that became National Bacon Day or what, but holy tarballs, there are a variety of great reasons why you should be eating bacon pretty much every day. And get as much bacon in as possible. Hey, Tony, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. I'm going to get the chat going here in just a moment here. I'm supposed to have I'm supposed to have a wonderful preparing live chat window coming up. And so I'm going to go ahead and add a screen capture of that. And I have yet to get to where this comes up preset every time. It's always goobered up when I first open it up. But it is what it is. And I'm learning as I go. So, and this window region thing is always fun. I gotcha. That's all right. I don't need to show the mouse. There we go. We got chat. Check it out. Sweet. Yeah, I know you're going to stream at 5. I missed you last week, man, and me and Todd were both commenting that that you should have been on, man. But you know, it was cool. I went over there just to see what you were doing, and there was no stream. But I'm looking forward to it this week. So if you guys haven't, hey, all right, man, we all need a week off, right? If you guys have a moment after this stream, I will be jumping over to Tony Thomas's stream over there at Old Nerd Reviews. So check out Old Nerd Reviews on YouTube, and go like his page on Facebook. He'll be doing a live stream at 5, which he does every week. And it's very convenient for me because I just do this stream and then I pop right over there, and we have a few mutual audience members, so that's pretty cool. That's turned out to be really, really sweet. Christmas time was here, and I will say Christmas time was awesome. We celebrated very low key, as we do every year. You guys may know if you are familiar with us. Hey, Tammy, welcome to the chat. If you're familiar with us, we don't we don't do Christmas like the commercial Christmas. We haven't done Christmas lights and Christmas trees and Christmas gifts for some time, but we still celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. And we are very grateful for him being our Savior. So we're glad that he was born, and that was really awesome. So but we haven't done trees and presents and all that stuff for a long time. And but we do celebrate Christmas, and we did Christmas carols at church, and it was pretty great. And we did a white elephant gift exchange, which was weird and fun at church. So you guys are in for a treat, because we are going to basically, I'm asking you guys, thank you. This is my bacon suit. I was inspired by Bacon Man Dan Quibel, who has graciously told me that I should wear my bacon suit today because it's National Bacon Day. And so what I want to do as sort of a special treat today is have you guys tell me all of the things that you think are awesome about bacon. And I know Dan tried to come up with 100 things. We ended up coming up with 30 things that bacon is awesome for. And so I would like to hear from you guys what you think are the best things about bacon. For me, bacon is very ketogenic. It is very high in fat and it is very moderate protein, and it has, for the most part, zero carbohydrate. So it does not spike your insulin. It's very ketogenic. It's delicious. The end. Thank you, Tony. It is delicious. Bacon tastes good on everything. Jason, welcome to the chat. And it is good to fry up with Brussels sprouts. Holy cow, Tammy, that is so awesome. You know, that is something that that I hadn't really thought of. But you know what? Quartering up Brussels sprouts and frying them in bacon grease and then browning up some bacon in there. That is awesome. Tim, hey Tim, welcome to the chat. Marianne, welcome to the chat. It is great to see you guys. Today is National Bacon Day, so I'm celebrating by wearing my honorary Bacon Man suit, and in honor of Bacon Man Dan, who does the Bacon Experiment and founded the Bacon Experiment, which I did twice, the Bacon Experiment, which helped me to get down to my goal weight. I am no longer doing the Bacon Experiment. I have no plans of doing the Bacon Experiment again, but I will say bacon is a great way to kickstart your ketogenic journey, and makes it really easy to transition when you know that you can eat bacon liberally. Hey, April, how are you? Today is National Bacon Day, so anything you guys can come up with during this chat. What is a great application, a great use for bacon? What is the thing that you think is the most awesome thing about bacon? And even if you just think bacon just tastes good. For me, bacon tastes awesome in coffee. And in the morning, what I've been doing for a long time, and I know Bacon Man Dan does not endorse bulletproof coffee, but in the morning, what I do a lot. Now, I've reached my goal weight, so I'm not trying to lose weight. For weight loss, I don't really recommend taking in bulletproof coffee all the time, because if you're eating fat, then you're probably not burning the fat off of your body. I mean, if you're eating extra added fat, and I'm not saying like don't eat fatty cuts of meat. Fatty cuts of meat are delicious and very satisfying. But adding extra fat like, you know, coconut oil and other things to your coffee, I will say, you know, it makes for, the body requires less of your body fat to fuel you. So a great way to accent your coffee if you've reached your goal weight like I have is I saved all my bacon grease from the Bacon Experiment. Dan, welcome to the chat. I saved all my bacon grease from the Bacon Experiment in 1 tablespoon ice cube trays, and so I have bags and bags of these ice cubes made of bacon. And welcome, Vicky. Vicky, welcome to the chat here. It is National Bacon Day, so we're talking all about bacon, and this is my treat that I give myself in the morning. Typically, I would do it once a week, like on Sundays, because it helps me sing. But I take a tablespoon of bacon grease, like I said, the frozen cubes that I made from my time in the Bacon Experiment, and a tablespoon of coconut oil and 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 2 packets of Truvia makes the perfect bacon latte. And I just basically stick it in a spill-proof tumbler and shake it up. And it's a great treat. I would not recommend it to anybody who is trying to lose weight. However, if you've reached your goal weight, fat doesn't really make you fat. I mean, honestly, that many calories is not going to cause you to gain a lot of weight, because it's not going to spike your insulin, and it's not going to cause you to jump out of ketosis. But it will it will keep you from burning body fat if you have extra body fat to lose. So when I was trying to lose more body fat, I did not drink the bulletproof coffee daily. I only drank it like once a week. And the rest of the week, mostly, I drank like 8 ounces of black coffee every day. And, but this bacon latte tastes amazing. And if you don't add salt, it kind of tastes sort of dull. But the salt makes it kind of punchy and it's pretty yummy. So I like it. And it's back in the day, I used to, when I was singing a lot, I would be sipping on a light beer throughout the night. I don't drink anymore, so I have struggled to find a thing that I could drink that would keep me. Hey, Todd, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Back in the day when I used to drink, that was an easy way to keep my vocal cords clean so I could sing cleanly and hit those high notes and stuff. So I've struggled for a long time to find anything that would rival a light beer or some kind of light alcohol to clean the vocal cords. So having a bacon latte on Sunday mornings to help me sing has helped me considerably. And it's funny because we all joke about it. If I am struggling to hit those high notes, more bacon needs to be applied. And anyway, it is great to have Bacon Man Dan in here for National Bacon Day on the BroBryceHealth Saturday Keto Chat. That is quite an honor. So I'm happy to see you here. And if you guys have any questions about ketogenic nutrition, about like what's your cholesterol panel going to look like after you do, a high fat, low carb approach, I would be happy to answer any of those questions the best of my ability. I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you medical advice, but I can tell you about my own experience, about my own lipid panels, about what happened to me as a result of eating a low carb, high fat diet. My N=1, as they call it. Marianne, thank you for sharing the video. Pretty sweet. Glad to see it getting shared out there. And so any of you guys that have any questions about ketogenic nutrition, or if you just want to talk about why bacon is awesome in your life and great applications of bacon in your life. Tammy shared that bacon tastes fabulous with Brussels sprouts. I will add that, I love grilled Brussels sprouts with butter or whatever. But man, if you were to like fry those up in bacon grease and then like brown up some bacon, be pretty stellar. Don't you think, Dan? Bacon and Brussels sprouts, man, two great things that are just made for each other. Of course, bacon is pretty much made to go with anything. I think that when God created pigs, even though they're supposed to be an unclean animal, I think he knew that they would be yummy. I think he just knew it. I mean, because like, what other animal is it that like, you can cook up pork chops pretty much any way you want to, and it's really hard to screw them up. Like, you can grill them, you can bake them, you can fry them, you can put them in an air fryer, you can deep fry pork chops. What other animal do you know that you could do so many things with and not screw it up? Jason, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the BroBryceHealth Saturday Keto Chat. It is National Bacon Day, so I'm hoping to see how many people will share what they think is the most awesome thing about bacon. Also, I'm going to be giving away a book later this hour. I gave away a book last week. I gave away a book last week. And today, you have a couple of choices. Here, let me take this mic off for 1 second while I grab something. Last week, Todd got the Atkins the New Atkins for a New You book, which I mailed off and sent him the tracking number. So this week we're going to give away one of these books. I have Wheat Belly by William Davis, which is a great book to teach you about all the reasons why you should never eat wheat, why you probably should never have eaten wheat ever, but why, especially now, that especially if you're concerned about your health, why you should not eat wheat, and all the various things that happens to you when you eat wheat. We have Wheat Belly by William Davis, MD. Who is, by the way, a cardiologist, so he kind of knows about like what wheat does to your body. Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It by Gary Taubes, a great science writer and a guy who happens to know his stuff around keto. We have the pocket edition and then the regular paperback of the same book. You can get either one of these. And then I have a companion book for the New Atkins for a New You. This is not the actual Atkins book, but is the Atkins workbook. And it has a lot of pages in it for keeping notes, journaling your food, talking about, asking you questions, personal questions about how you are dealing with your cravings and how you are coping with your diet. Todd never really tried Brussels sprouts. You should eat more veggies, though. I have come to the conclusion that while I think that veggies can be important, especially in the beginning of your journey, I think that a lot of us can do with less veggies. I don't think veggies are quite as essential as we've all been led to believe. But I do think that they are a great source of nutrition. If especially if you want to give up multivitamins and stuff, you can easily get almost all of your vitamins and minerals from veggies that you can get at a regular grocery store. In fact, I actually returned a huge store load of vitamins to the store, took them back to the store and said, hey, these are all useless. They're first off, a lot of the vitamins that you get in the store are not in a format that your body can easily absorb. And so in that sense, they're kind of bogus and worthless. So thank you for sharing that video there, Todd, and welcome back again. I will be keeping my eyes open for notifications on the other side too. So I should probably pull open my phone to let me know when stuff is happening on the other side of Facebook. There we go. Yeah. So I get notifications on my phone about this video share as well. Anyway, yeah, I used to think that you needed to eat like a ton of veggies. And I know that in Gary Taubes' Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It, in his meal plan, he talks about the basic need for vegetables, and I think that especially for people who are used to eating a more diverse diet. Welcome to the chat, Ryan. It's good to see you, man. It's National Bacon Day, so I'm dressed accordingly. And you can thank Bacon Man Dan for inspiring me to dress like this. But in Gary Taubes' book, Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It, he has the basic instructions for doing keto in the back of this book, in the appendix to this book, which I will be giving it away later this hour. in probably about 15 minutes. And but in his book, he talks about, requiring vegetables. And my experience is that, a lot of the necessity for fiber and a lot of the necessity for minerals, welcome Cindy, is actually more about electrolytes, because we have basic needs for electrolytes. But like things like calcium, for instance, you don't really get calcium from dairy, because, like you think you get calcium from milk, but milk has enough sodium caseinate in it, casein, the milk protein, that inhibits your body from absorbing calcium, that you can't actually absorb any calcium for the rest of the day if you drink milk. And on top of that, it's got lactose, milk sugar, which basically spikes your insulin and keeps you from burning fat as well. So as long as you have insulin in your bloodstream, you can't burn fat. And that's why we try to lower the occurrence of insulin in the blood to when it's actually needed. And your body will create enough glucose, so carbohydrates not required. Your body can create its own glucose supply from gluconeogenesis, and then it will release insulin accordingly at that time, and then your blood sugar will go back to normal. Todd, Tony is planning on doing a stream at 5. So any of you guys that are watching, be sure to go over to Old Nerd Reviews. Tony likes to say that I will teach you how to eat stuff that's healthy, and Tony will teach you how to eat stuff that will kill you. And I think I'm going to stick to that story, because as much as I love Tony, the food Tony eats is just, you're going to die if you eat what Tony eats. And if you eat what I eat, you're probably going to live. And I eat a lot of bacon, so you'll probably live if you eat bacon. So that's one of the bonuses of bacon. Eating bacon allows you to live. That's pretty great. Staying on the right side of the dirt, right? Depending on your perspective. Sometimes I like to say it's the wrong side of the dirt. Anyway, bacon tastes good wrapped around anything. You can wrap bacon around pretty much anything. If you wrap bacon around a pencil, I guarantee you the pencil would taste better. Pretty much anything that you wrap bacon around would be better if bacon was around it. And in fact, I have seen that people can eat bacon, cured bacon, raw, and not get sick because it's cured. So, I don't have any desire to eat raw bacon. Not any. It's just not gonna happen. Not on my watch. But I can eat me some thick sliced bacon wrapped around a cheese stick or something. I remember in the days back when Sean Rainey used to have before he was doing rainy day ice cream up there in Portland, he was doing the Sausage Shack. And the Sausage Shack would have like anything wrapped in bacon. Pretty much if you wanted something wrapped in bacon, they would pretty much do it. They had bacon wrapped corn dogs, they had bacon wrapped chicken wings, and they had a thing called the Paul Bunyan that was this huge burger. I think it had 3 half-pound patties wrapped in bacon, like wrapped in bacon with bacon in between and cheddar cheese. And basically I would go there and I would order that, but they would just, ditch the bun and I would eat that. And it's surprising when you don't eat bread how much you can put down. But holy cow, that bacon made everything better. And so we have National Bacon Day. I did the bacon experiment twice. I will say that it helped me to reach my goal weight. I had a long-standing goal of reaching 190 pounds, and I reached that goal, but I basically plateaued between 190 and 200 pounds, like floating in between 190 and 200 pounds for almost a year. And I'm not self-conscious about my weight anymore. Or, I don't know that I've really been all that self-conscious about my weight, but I knew that my ideal weight was probably somewhere like 165 or 170. That's just where I would be the leanest. And so eventually I hit 168 pounds doing the bacon experiment. And I didn't really feel hungry. I ate bacon. I ate pork loin. I ate pork chops. I even had bacon, or I had bacon or pork sirloin with homemade avocado mayo to kind of even out the fat macro a little bit, but keeping my protein macros up because the job that I have is very strenuous. And as I was doing that, I really, really enjoyed a great level of energy, and I didn't feel like my muscles were starving. I didn't feel like I was losing muscle. And, bacon helped me do it. Bacon was amazing. Bacon also cures constipation, if you can believe this. We talked about that over on the Bacon Experiment live stream over there. Bacon cures constipation. A lot of people think that constipation is caused by a lack of fiber, but truly, constipation is more likely caused by an electrolyte imbalance. And so if you are keeping your electrolytes balanced out, meat and fatty meats specifically will not block you up, as has long been mythed about for decades on end. I remember there was a King of the Hill episode where Hank Hill was struggling with constipation, and he kept eating all this fatty meat and cheeses and stuff like that. But truly, that's not what was blocking up Hank Hill. What was blocking up Hank Hill was an electrolyte imbalance, most likely. Except that Hank Hill is a fictitious cartoon character, and so his constipation did not exist. Anyway, those of you on the live stream right now, if you have questions about ketogenic nutrition, ketogenic lifestyle, what does someone's cholesterol look like when they're eating a high-fat diet rich in bacon and butter and cheese and cream cheese and fatty cuts of meat and ribeye steak? What does their cholesterol look like? Well, mine looks pretty great. When I started eating a low-fat or a low-carb, high-fat diet, my triglycerides went from 380 plus down to 82 in a matter of a few months. And that was my triglycerides. So my triglycerides, your triglycerides are your saturated fat in the blood. Saturated fat in the blood is not dictated by eating large quantities of saturated fat. It is saturated fat in the blood typically comes from the body. Triglycerides in the blood come from your own body. If cholesterol in your diet was the primary cause of cholesterol in your body, then cows would have no cholesterol at all. So beef would have no cholesterol whatsoever if a diet rich in meats and fatty foods was the prime determiner of how much cholesterol you have running through your body. Because cows, well, grass-fed cows just eat grass. Grass has no cholesterol, so where would a cow get cholesterol? Cow gets cholesterol from the cow. And so, pig gets cholesterol from the pig. Pig eats slop. Hey, Felicia, my sister, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Saturday chat. This is National Bacon Day, December 30th, 2017, and I'm asking everyone to post why they think bacon is awesome. What is your specific application for bacon that you think is the best? Do you think bacon just smells the best or do you think that it tastes the best? Or what is your favorite thing to put bacon on or cook bacon with? Bacon and eggs is always a safe and amazing staple for everyone. In fact, Dr. Westman, Dr. Eric Westman, who is the founder of the Lifestyle Medicine Clinic at Duke University, he basically says you can eat as many eggs as you want. They are basically considered to be the perfect food. They are the pretty much the perfect macros for fat and protein. They have, for a regular egg, it's about 0.89 grams of carbohydrate. And so they're not going to spike your blood insulin, and they're not going to spike your blood glucose. You can pretty much eat them without limits. And I have seen people eat as much as 2 dozen eggs in a sitting and not have problems. Bacon cheeseburgers. That is awesome. I love bacon cheeseburgers. I like Carl's Jr. I will occasionally go to Carl's Jr. I don't go there all the time. I used to go there all the time, but I don't go there all the time. But I will order from Carl's Jr. I will order a double half-pound guacamole bacon thick burger, and I will have them hold the bun and, you know, do the low carb thing. They always put that lettuce wrap on there, but they make it like huge lettuce, and there's so much lettuce. I basically don't eat like 3/4 of the lettuce. I have a little bit of lettuce with it, but guacamole bacon thick burger from Carl's Jr. low carb is fabulous. Pete, welcome to the chat. It is National Bacon Day. We are having our Saturday keto chat, and I'm wearing my Bacon Man costume in honor of Bacon Man Dan, who helped to guide me through the bacon experiment 2 times in a row, and helped me to reach my goal weight of 170 pounds. I actually hit 168 pounds. I am at my goal weight and happily there and staying there, despite not being on the bacon experiment anymore. But for like 30 days straight, I ate nothing but pork and bacon, and it was amazing. And bacon tastes delicious, so I think that bacon is worthy of having a day. Yeah, the bacon the guacamole bacon thick burger is pretty outrageously cool, and I like Carl's Jr.'s beef. I think that maybe there's some sugar or something in their guacamole, or, you know, their cheese seems a little bit processed, but an occasional trip to Carl's Jr. does not hurt me at all. It doesn't do me any harm. And I found that now that I've reached my goal weight, I can almost eat like an unlimited amount of fat. As long as I don't raise my carbohydrate levels too high. I don't eat quite as many vegetables as I used to, because I don't think they're quite as essential as I used to think. I think it's more essential to keep your electrolytes up, and if you can keep those up with vegetables, then that's great. But I think my tolerance for carbohydrate is pretty low. So I prefer to keep those carbohydrates as low as possible. I stick to a couple of handfuls of nuts like pecans and almonds. A handful or 2 of nuts is most of my carbohydrates for the day, and I don't really engage in that much vegetable activity now. But occasionally, I like to have some cauliflower mash or a little bit of broccoli. Our family has creamed broccoli and creamed cauliflower pretty much every day. I am not eating as much dairy as I used to, not quite as much cheese as I used to. Mostly my diet consists of meat. But I do like to engage in some low carbohydrate, non-starchy vegetables. Every once in a while, I used to eat peanut butter, but doing some research on peanut butter, I find that peanut butter it is pro-inflammatory. For one thing, it's very high in omega-6, it's really concentrated in omega-6, and there's some complications with most commercial peanut butter. Peanut butter today, peanut farms are the peanut plants are really low to the ground, and so since they sit low to the ground, and they have to have a lot of moisture, and that moisture is constantly on them, so a lot of peanuts get moldy. So most peanuts that are grown commercially have some form of mold contamination, which is the primary allergen property of most peanuts. People that have peanut allergy typically are more allergic to the molds that are surrounding the peanuts. And then there are peanuts that are grown in the jungle in taller trees that are not sitting in their moisture, and they don't have the mold problem. So they're not quite as allergenic, but they still are really super high in omega-6, and they're kind of cost prohibitive. So like the budget issue with peanut butter is kind of negated by the fact that this is something that's super expensive. So I tend to eat almond butter, but I tend to eat it more sparingly than I used to. I stick to almond butter. It's more compliant. And peanuts are technically not a nut. They are a legume. And most legumes are considered not quite as low carb, and they are pro-inflammatory. So I try to stay away from all legumes. I don't eat beans, for instance, at all. Some people would consider them a great source of protein, but I find that there are other sources of protein that are better for you, like meat. Fatty cuts of meat are a great source of protein. So it is time for a book giveaway. And so you have your choice of four books here. You have Why We Get Fat by Gary Taubes. And I'm going to put a limitation on this. If you have won from one of the giveaways in the last 2 months, then you cannot enter today. But if you have not, then you have your choice of any one of these books. And all you have to do is say, I'm interested in the book. That's all you have to say. Interested in the book. Just say, give me a book or something like that. And I will give you one of these books. I will mail it to you. If you're in the continental US or the US at all, I will mail it to you by media rate. All of these are thrift store finds, but they're in really good shape. I sort of screen them, and they may have some random notes that someone has written in them. I don't promise anything, but you're getting the book for free. So Why We Get Fat by Gary Taubes, which is a fabulous book with a great appendix that tells you all about how to do a ketogenic diet. Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It. You can have either the pocket edition of that or the standard paperback edition. If you would like to have Wheat Belly by Dr. William Davis, it's a fabulous book that tells you all about why you should never eat grain. Here you go. Wheat Belly by Dr. William Davis. Also the fabulous author of Undoctored, which I think you should look that up. Then we have Whitney, welcome to the chat. A New Atkins for a New You workbook. Now, this is not the Atkins book. This is a workbook with blank pages that help you out with journaling your food and journaling your habits and journaling how you feel about your daily life in a low carb, high fat diet approach. So any one of these books, just say you're interested and I will give you a book. So Why We Get Fat by Gary Taubes, either the paperback or the pocket edition. Wheat Belly by William Davis, or New Atkins for a New You workbook. Any one of those, and I will give it to you free of charge. I will mail it to you straight off. So Todd, would natural peanut butter be better from the health food store, or is there a possibility? So there is a great video which I will link to in the comments later. There's a great video on peanut butter, and I think it's Dr. Axe that you can Google it, or I will post a direct link in the comments, and hopefully it will allow me to post it as a reply. Either that, or I'll tag you and I'll tell you. All right, Whitney, I will send you. Would you like the pocket edition or the standard paperback of Why We Get Fat, Whitney? Pocket or standard edition. I will give you either one or the other, and I will send it to you free of charge. And then you can PM me the details on your address, and I will mail it right off to you. I know you guys just got a new house. I'm so happy for you and Chris. Pocket, sweet. Yeah, this is a fabulous book, and I think you're gonna just love this thing to pieces. And it will definitely solidify your resolve on why you do what you do for your benefit, for your health, not just for your weight, but because my focus has not been on my weight. I lost a lot of weight. It's easy to tell people I lost 117 pounds. That's the easiest thing to show people. But what I can't show them is the fact that I don't walk with 2 canes anymore, and I don't wear night splints on my hands and my feet anymore, and I don't really have any measurable amount of chronic pain on a daily basis anymore, whereas I used to be in chronic pain all the time. And those of you that used to go to church with me used to know every other time I go to church, people would say, so what's wrong with you? Because I walked funny, and I had weird posture. And anyway, so PM me here on Facebook, Whitney, and I will send you the book. I know you haven't been completely keto. It's fine. But this will solidify your resolve as to why you will do what you will end up doing. This book will definitely teach you a thing or two. Gary Taubes is about as solid a guy as you can find. And it'd be worth your while you're waiting for the book to Google Gary Taubes and look him up. He is a tremendous speaker and very compelling when he speaks. He's done a lot of presentations. And anyway, it is National Bacon Day, and I'm inviting any of you guys to tell me what you think is the most awesome thing about bacon. Because I've shared some of my thoughts. I think bacon tastes great. Bacon grease in coffee, my little bulletproof bacon latte. That's my little gem out there into the keto universe. Y'all can just enjoy the bacon in your coffee. I do most mornings now that I've reached my goal weight. But I don't think that if you are drinking bulletproof coffee to lose weight, I think that's a little misguided, because you would be better suited to burn the fat that's already stored on your body for fuel and eat the proper amount of protein and some fat to keep you very satisfied. Bacon tastes great on salad. You know that at Outback, when I go to Portland, I always do what I call a healthy meat up, like meat. It's a play on words. See what I did there? And I always do a healthy meetup when I go up to Portland. Tony, all right, I will see you at 5. And it is coming up on 5. But every time I go up there, I go to the Outback Steakhouse, and we have a healthy meetup. And we get as many people as possible. And we all eat a bunch of steak. And when I'm ordering, I always order the wedge salad, which I know is iceberg lettuce, which is just really, I know it's sugar water, but it's not very filling, and it's not very much sugar. But I have them hold the vinaigrette, but it has blue cheese and bacon crumbles. And holy cow, if bacon and blue cheese were not meant to be married, I do not know a better suited couple on the face of the planet. So, in honor of National Bacon Day, I hereby dedicate bacon on salads to be the crowning ruler of bacon applications. I do think that it's pretty spectacular. And bacon, now, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but if you just take some cooked bacon, okay, and put it in a bag, like a plastic Ziploc bag, with some slices of cheese, okay? Now, I know not everybody can afford to like go to the store and buy like smoked cheddar or something like that. But check this out. Try this out. Try it for yourself. See if you like it, okay? I never watched Craig Ferguson. I don't even know who he is. I have watched a lot of late shows though, especially Dave Letterman. I think I watched maybe 600 or 700 episodes of Dave Letterman. But the try this out. Take some slices of cooked bacon and put it in a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, with some slices of cheddar cheese or the favorite cheese of your choice. It doesn't matter. It could be Swiss cheese or you know, Dublin or whatever you like. Put that kind of cheese in a plastic bag, open in the plastic bag. Now the plastic bag will be closed with the bacon strips in it, cooked bacon strips. And I promise you, both the bacon and the cheese will be made more amazing and epic by sharing company. It is as though there was a marriage that took place and both parties were made more wonderful by their companions in the plastic bag. So that's your little gem to try out tonight. Also, I would like to recommend to those of you who would like to think that the keto diet is very expensive because all that meat and protein and all of those things are very expensive. I would invite you to go check out the Flip app, F-L-I-P-P, Flip app on Android and iPhone and whatever. And you will find that you can look up the flyers for all of your local grocery stores and you can find amazing, ridiculous deals on things like bacon and pork chops and chicken. For instance, just yesterday, I found a deal on chicken thighs for 77 cents a pound, which is crazy. And if you buy your meat like that, and you buy it in whatever quantities they'll allow, you can eat cheaper than you can eat top ramen, okay? We did the bacon experiment with pork sirloin roasts that we got for 99 cents a pound. And I bought 60 pounds for like 55 bucks. It was crazy. And I used my vacuum sealer and I put it in the freezer and we would just pull out 3 or 4 of them and defrost them and then put them in the air fryer. It was amazing. It was the easiest diet ever. And it was cheap. We saved, I don't even know how much money we saved that month. Anyway, we are coming up on the last 2 minutes of today's National Bacon Day edition of the BroBryceHealth Saturday Keto Chat. I wanted to welcome all of you. I wanted to thank all of you. Todd, Whitney, we'll just go back here in time. Pete, Ryan, Cindy, Jason, Dan Quibel, Marianne, April, Tim Rice, Tammy, and Tony Thomas, of course, which I'm going to be joining him in just a couple of minutes. Jenny Kirkendall and Sharon Byerly. And if you're watching this on replay, please make sure that you know that every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, I do this live Saturday Keto Chat. And I want to get you guys asking questions, and I would love to answer questions about things like peanut butter and ketogenic nutrition, about what your blood panels are going to look like, and And I don't give medical advice, but what I do is I tell you about what happened to me, and I'm always happy to do that. I'm going to turn off the live chat right now, and I would like to exit the chat today with a little bit more of Glenn Case's wonderful music. Thank you for watching, and thank you for tuning in. I will see you next week right here at and be sure to join the BroBryce Health group over at BroBryceHealth.info or on Facebook. Just look up BroBryce Health. There it is. Join the group, and I just ask that you read the pinned post over there. I have a whole bunch of free information over there. Nothing costs a thing. I don't have anything to sell you. And I would just love to have your company and be able to help anybody with any kind of struggles that they're going through. If there's any way that I can help you in your journey toward good health, I would love to do that. So I will see you next Saturday at 4 p.m. Enjoy some Glenn Case.